Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Mark Lynn. Namaskar. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. India assures fuel adequacy as two more Indian vessels cross the Strait of Hormuz on way home. India to launch Census 2027 with digital self-enumeration option aided by mobile-based data collection, says the country's Registrar General. War rages on. Israel strikes Iran and Houthis rain drones from Yemen. Trump once again issues an ultimatum for the opening of the Strait of Hormuz. And G7 ministers to hold an emergency video conference on the economic fallouts of West Asia war, energy crisis and Iran blockade. As the West Asia war rages on, the U.S. President Donald Trump has again renewed his warning to Iran on Monday, demanding the immediate reopening of the Strait of Hormuz or face devastating American attacks on its oil wells, electric generating plants and Karg Island. Now, taking to social media platform Truth Social, Trump said, and I quote, "Great progress has been made, but if for any reason a deal is not shortly reached, and if the Hormuz Strait is not immediately open for business, we will conclude our lovely stay in Iran by blowing up and completely obliterating all of their electric generating plants, oil wells and Karg Island." The ultimatum comes amid the ongoing West Asia war, which has effectively closed the vital shipping route. The Israeli media reported that an oil refinery in the northern city of Haifa had been hit on Monday shortly after the military said that it had detected new incoming missiles from Iran. Footage showed black smoke billowing into the sky from the site, while Israel's fire and rescue services shared photos of a cylinder-shaped tank on fire. Israel's military said in a statement that search and rescue forces, both reserve and regular forces, are on their way to a site in northern Israel where reports of the impact have been received. Meanwhile, Iran has confirmed the death of Revolutionary Guards Navy Commander Ali Reza Tangsiri following severe injuries. Israel's Defense Minister Israel Katz said it was a precise and lethal operation, that the IDF had eliminated the commander of the IRGC Navy, Tangsiri, along with senior naval command officials. A commander who has been in place since 2018, Tangsiri had played a significant part in Iran's closure of the Strait of Hormuz. Well, Iran's Foreign Ministry spokesperson Ismail Baghai has denied direct negotiations with the United States on Monday, contradicting the U.S. President Donald Trump's claims of ongoing talks. Baghai dismissed U.S. demands as excessive, unrealistic and illogical, asserting that no direct dialogue has occurred since the previous official round. The escalating tensions continue to threaten vital shipping lanes in the Red Sea and Arabian Peninsula as both nations remain deadlocked.
We have had no direct negotiation with America so far. Since the last round of negotiation until now, the demands have been excessive, unrealistic and illogical. The meetings that Pakistan has with neighboring countries are a framework they themselves have established. We have not participated in this framework.
Meanwhile, Iran's foreign ministry also announced that Iran does not seek nuclear weapons, reaffirming its official stance, however, revealing that the parliament is reviewing its membership of the Non-Proliferation Treaty. So the spokesperson, Ismail Baghai, He's confirmed that the internal debate regarding the treaty is currently gaining traction within public opinion and also in the legislative body. The Kuwait National Guard successfully intercepted and destroyed 5 hostile drones within its area of responsibility during the past 24 hours, according to an official statement released on Monday. The spokesperson, Brigadier General Dr. Jadan Fadhel, has confirmed the operation was part of an ongoing framework to bolster national security and protect vital strategic sites. This defensive action occurs amid heightened regional tensions, including reported strikes on power infrastructure that tragically claimed the life of an Indian worker. The British Prime Minister Keir Starmer will gather business leaders in Downing Street on Monday and address the impact of the ongoing blockade in the Strait of Hormuz. Speaking ahead of this meeting, he said that the energy bills would decrease until the end of June, regardless of what happens in the Iran conflict.
But of course the backdrop is a war on 2 fronts, and so people will be looking at Labour for leadership and being absolutely clear that we're not getting dragged into that war. We will of course defend ourselves and our allies, and that we do know that the cost of living is the issue that people worry about most. So we go in good spirits, we go in against an uncertain backdrop globally, but I think that if we can show our values, our positivity, what we have done and what we will do, then, as I say, no vote has been cast yet. Every vote is there to be earned, and we need to go out and earn it.
Ministers from the G7 will hold talks on Monday to unpack the economic consequences of the war in West Asia. The squeeze on supply has pushed oil and natural gas prices higher, with drastic knock-on effects for supply chains in countless industries. The French Finance Minister, Roland Lescure, has said that the G7 meeting will be held via video conference, and it would include energy and finance ministers as well as central bank chiefs and heads of other international agencies. The G7, which is an informal group of the US, Canada, Britain, France, Germany, Italy, and Japan, helps shape policy debates in the world's wealthiest nations. The US, the United States, has sought support from the group to help halt Iran's blockade of the Strait of Hormuz shipping route. A Russian oil tanker under US sanctions carrying humanitarian shipment of 100,000 tons of crude oil arrived in Cuba despite a de facto American fuel blockade. This is in that energy-starved island country. The Anatoly Kolodkin, it was off the eastern tip of Cuba on Sunday. After Washington launched the oil blockade, President Miguel Diaz-Canel, he had imposed emergency measures to conserve fuel, including strict rationing of gasoline. It would be the first shipment of oil to the island since January, bringing some temporary relief to a country of 9.6 million people that has endured a deepening energy and economic crisis. The European Union energy ministers will convene via video conference as well on Tuesday. They are coordinating a joint response to the surging gas and oil prices caused by the war in Iran. The conflict, which began on February 28 and with the US-Israeli strikes at that time, has effectively closed the Strait of Hormuz and has led to attacks on regional energy infrastructure as well. European gas prices have since risen 70%, and the European Union ministers, they will discuss early gas storage filling for the next winter and also stabilizing of oil product markets, diesel and jet fuel included, while avoiding fragmented national measures. The short-term supplies from Norway and the United States remain secure, but Shell CEO Wael Sawan has warned of potential shortages by April. Spain has closed its airspace to US warplanes involved in the attacks on Iran. And this is a step that is beyond its previous denial of use of jointly operated military bases. Spain's Defense Minister, Margarita Robles, has said on Monday that it will not authorize either the use of military bases or the use of airspace for actions related to the war in Iran. The Spanish newspaper El País has said so. They reported this on Monday, citing military sources. Now, the closure of the airspace, it forces military planes to bypass NATO member Spain en route to their targets in West Asia, but it does not include emergency situations. This is what El Pais said. Germany is facing the pain. In fact, the ordinary people in Germany, they are facing the pain at petrol pumps as the high price of petrol and diesel has unsettled people there. And this trend in Europe, it's coming across Europe. And many countries there on the continent, they are adopting new policies to slash prices. And let's get more on what's happening in Europe and Germany, how they are dealing with this problem in the wake of the US-Israel war on Iran. Varda Imran is joining us from Berlin. Varda, let's start with Germany now. How high are the prices there to start with, and what's behind it?
Well, anyone who knows Germany would know that it has the reputation of being a car-loving country. Now, higher prices at the pump are straining people's wallets here. And you know, it never really was cheap to drive here to begin with. Petrol and diesel prices in Germany are made up of taxes and costs with some profit. For example, if a liter of petrol is €2, then about 23% of that is an energy tax. Then there is the carbon dioxide tax, and to top it all off, a value-added tax that's roughly around 15 to 16%. And so the rest of the price is made up of cost and some profit. Now, gas prices all over the world are shooting up because of the war in Iran and the pressure of shipments not going through the Strait of Hormuz. And although Europeans aren't new to high energy prices, it has certainly been a turbulent few years with the COVID pandemic, the Ukraine war resulting in historic energy prices, and now the Iran war and its consequences hitting citizens here.
And moving toward government responses, some European countries are bringing down petrol prices. How are they able to do that?
Actually, it's quite interesting. You know, if you study a graph showing petrol prices of, let's say, Germany, France, Spain, and Italy, you'll notice a sharp downward trend in Italy and Spain's graph. Because in the last few days, they've adopted some quick measures to bring down prices. Spain announced just a few days ago a €5 billion energy package with tax cuts to offset the petrol price hikes. Like the value-added tax that's factored into petrol prices in Spain will be brought down. An electricity levy will be reduced too. The government also announced a temporary suspension of the tax on electricity production. So quick fixes such as these can act as band-aids for the citizens, and the residents of Spain will welcome these measures. Now, similarly, in Italy, the government cut fuel taxes to bring down prices by about 25 cents. This is a lot for the people there. And Germany has approved a measure to limit price hikes at pumps to just once a day, amid accusations that oil companies were maximizing profit by hiking prices here unfairly.
Varda Imran in Berlin, thanks very much. Myanmar cleared the way on Monday for the coup-leading General Min Aung Hlaing to become president and also to maintain his rule in civilian garb, with lawmakers nominating him as the vice presidential candidate and also the junta replacing him as military commander. Min Aung Hlaing has ruled Myanmar since 2021, when he had ordered a coup toppling the elected government of Aung San Suu Kyi and detaining the Nobel Peace Laureate, dissolving a party also and triggering civilian war. But after 5 years of hardline rule, he oversaw heavily restricted elections that criminalized protest and also criticism of the vote. And then he returned a walkover win for pro-military parties in late January. So 3 vice presidents will be chosen, one of whom will be elected as president in a parliamentary-wide vote. The annual Seto Machhindranath Jatra concluded in Nepal's Kathmandu. It drew large crowds. Devotees gathered to witness the vibrant procession through the city's historic streets. The 3 to 5 day festival, held during the Nepali month of Chaitra, It began on March 26 and culminated with the return of the deity to the Janbaha temple. The festival features the traditional pulling of a 32-hand tall wooden chariot carrying Seto Machhindranath, revered as the rain deity and also the guru of the Tantric tradition of Gorakhnath. Still to come here on DD India Live. The Lok Sabha clears and passes the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code Amendment Bill 2025. And the Congress rebels continue to campaign with party symbol in poll-bound Puducherry. You're watching DD India Live. I'm Mark Lynn. In the Lok Sabha, the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code Amendment Bill 2025 was passed on Monday, and during the discussion, the Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman, she stressed the need for data privacy. Let's listen.
There are several frameworks which banks will have to follow when it comes to the question of customers' data. The data privacy under KYC framework, where the RBI has issued master directions and the instructions on customers' secrecy of information and sharing of information. So banks are required to maintain secrecy regarding the customer information that arises out of contractual relationships or that is between the bank and the customer.
On the upcoming Census 2027, the Registrar General and the Census Commissioner of India, Mrityunjay Kumar Narayan, had held a press conference on Monday in New Delhi. The 16th nationwide Census of India is scheduled to be conducted in 2 phases, beginning in late 2026, including in 2027. This time, data will be collected digitally. Under Section 15 of the Census Act, individual data will remain confidential.
जनगणना भारत में 2 चरणों में संपन्न होती है। पहला चरण हाउस लिस्टिंग एंड हाउसिंग सेंसस, मकान सूचीकरण और मकानों की गणना। तो जैसा कि नाम से ही स्पष्ट है, इसमें हाउस होल्ड की जानकारी ली जाती है। दूसरा चरण जिसे पॉपुलेशन इनुमरेशन, जनसंख्या गणना कहते हैं, उसमें विभिन्न जनसांख्यिकीय, सामाजिक, आर्थिक, सांस्कृतिक, आप्रवासन, माइग्रेशन और प्रजनन संबंधी जानकारी एक एक व्यक्ति का, नवजात से लेकर के किसी व्यक्ति का, किसी भी उम्र का व्यक्ति हो, हर के बारे में निर्धारित प्रश्नों पे सूचना प्राप्त की जाती है।
And he added that the new system of self-enumeration has been introduced for the upcoming census. Individuals can now digitally submit their details before the house-to-house survey begins.
इस बार एक नई व्यवस्था स्वगणना की गई है। इसके पहले की जनगणनाओं में चूँकि डिजिटल माध्यम से आंकड़ों का संग्रह नहीं होता था, तो सेल्फ इनुमरेशन की व्यवस्था नहीं थी। अगर कोई भी व्यक्ति सूचना स्वयं भी देना चाहता हो तो ऐसी व्यवस्था नहीं थी। इस बार सेल्फ इनुमरेशन के माध्यम से डिजिटली स्वयं सूचना दर्ज कर सकते हैं और वो 15 दिन की अवधि जब हाउस टू हाउस एक्टिविटी उस राज्य या यूटी में प्रारंभ होगी, उसके पहले की अवधि होगी, जिसमें कि स्वयं की सूचना, हाउस होल्ड की सूचना दर्ज कर सकते हैं।
The Gati Shakti Vishwavidyalaya and the Director General of Civil Aviation, signed an MOU on Monday to strengthen collaboration in aviation education, training and research. The signing ceremony was held in the presence of the Information Broadcasting Minister Ashwini Vaishnav and the Civil Aviation Minister Ram Mohan Naidu, underscoring the government's commitment to advancing skill development and capacity building in the transport and aviation sectors. While addressing the gathering, the Minister Vaishnav, he said that this MOU will boost the talent development sector.
इस MOU से एविएशन सेक्टर में जो टैलेंट डेवलपमेंट के लिए जितना काम करना है उसको बहुत बड़ी मदद मिलेगी और जिस तेजी से एविएशन सेक्टर आज बढ़ रहा है देश में बहुत ज़बरदस्त रिक्वायरमेंट है टैलेंट की अच्छे वेल ट्रेन्ड इंजीनियर्स ऑपरेटर्स पायलट्स मेंटेनेंस हर तरीके से सभी की ज़रूरत है वो ज़रूरत इस MOU से बहुत हद तक पूरी होगी इससे पहले भी एविएशन सेक्टर के कई MOUs गति शक्ति विश्वविद्यालय के साथ हुए और उसमें अच्छी प्रोग्रेस हुई है.
The Civil Aviation Minister Ram Mohan Naidu stated that Gati Shakti Vishwavidyalaya will help fill the gaps in the civil aviation sector.
The major feedback that we got from these AMEs who are getting trained through the DGCA approved organizations is that they are not having any specific degree. Even though they have one of the best skills to handle the aircraft, to handle the maintenance, to handle the repair of the aircraft, they are not ultimately getting any kind of certificate which is going to help them further grow in that sector. And this bottleneck or this gap that we have seen before is being very beautifully filled up by the coming in of the Gati Shakti University now into the picture. They are going to provide all the facilities, they are going to provide all the curriculum, they are going to provide the degree certificate to these AMEs, which is going to change the way how we are going to see our AMEs, not only working in the aviation sector, but further progressing in this sector also.
India and Russia on Monday held Foreign Office consultations in New Delhi, co-chaired by the Foreign Secretary of India, Vikram Misri, and Russia's Deputy Foreign Minister, Andrei Rudenko. Both sides reviewed the full spectrum of their special and privileged strategic partnership, and they exchanged views on bilateral, regional and global issues of mutual interest. The Government of India on Monday held another interministerial briefing at the National Media Centre in New Delhi, and they reviewed the evolving situation in West Asia. So addressing the press, then the Department of Fertilizer said that the domestic urea output has significantly recovered after earlier disruptions in gas supply. Let's listen.
डोमेस्टिक प्रोडक्शन के बारे में जो गैस सप्लाई है जो हमारी प्रभावित हुई थी 60% हो गई थी जो धीरे धीरे बढ़ के 65 हुई और अब 80% तक हो गई है जो कि हमने एम्पावर्ड पूल मैनेजमेंट कमेटी के माध्यम से हमने स्पॉट बेसिस पे टेंडर किए और हमें हमारा अच्छा प्रोडक्शन 80% तक हो गया है सभी यूरिया यूनिट्स में. कोई भी यूरिया यूनिट जो इससे जो थोड़ी देर के लिए शटडाउन हुए भी थे जो कि एनुअल शटडाउन होता है उनका वो वापस उन सभी को गैस सप्लाई शुरू हो गई है. जहां तक सल्फर या और इंटरमीडिएट की उपलब्धता है हमारे विभाग ने सभी ऑयल रिफाइनरीज को डायरेक्शंस दी है कि सल्फर या और इससे संबंधित कुछ भी इंटरमीडिएट है उसकी पूरी सप्लाई करें.
And on the maritime front, the Ministry of Ports, Shipping and Waterways stated that two LPG carriers, BW Tyre and BW Elm, they have navigated the Strait of Hormuz and they are heading towards Indian ports.
पर्शियन गल्फ में 18 भारतीय जहाज हैं इस वक्त और उसमें 485 इंडियन सीफेयर्स नाविक हैं. ये सभी सुरक्षित हैं और पिछले 24 घंटे में कोई भी सामुद्रिक घटना की सूचना नहीं है. हमारे दो एलपीजी कैरियर्स BW टियर और BW एल इन दोनों ने वो रास्ता सफ़र तय किया. इन्होंने स्ट्रेट ऑफ हॉर्मुज को क्लियर किया और ये अब भारतीय पोर्ट्स की तरफ अग्रसर हैं.
It's Congress versus Congress in the Puducherry Assembly elections. Nothing seems to be going right for the party there. As it was eyeing a comeback after a decent performance in the 2024 parliamentary polls, but the delay in finalizing its alliance with the DMK has put their campaign in a fix. Now, 6 candidates from the Congress have rebelled against their own party, refusing to vacate their seats for their alliance partner, the DMK. Look at this report. Surrounded by his supporters, this is N. Rangaswamy, the incumbent Chief Minister of Puducherry. With Congress fighting its own battles, anti-incumbency does not seem to bother Rangaswamy. After much ado, the Secular Progressive Alliance, or the SPA, was formalized between the Congress and the DMK, with the Congress announcing its final candidate list on 16 seats, leaving 14 for the DMK. The Puducherry party chief, V. Vethalingam, asserting that there is no friendly fight between the Congress and the DMK, and 6 candidates have been asked to withdraw from the fray. Vethalingam is also the sitting MP from Puducherry.
No drama. Actually, the problem is that constituency belongs to other party, DMK party. When we are asking about it, they are creating some problem. Our issue is, so we can't go inside the issue. So better, he is not getting the ticket as a seat. Then he told to the media, he is not ready to create any problem for the alliance. He is ready to support the India alliance. That is the issue.
What action would be taken if the 6 candidates refuse to withdraw?
इस पर मैं कुछ नहीं कह सकती, ये पार्टी का डिसीजन है.
And so, threatening the alliance, people like R. Kumaran refuse to budge as he continues his campaign with the hand symbol in the Raj Bhavan constituency.
Campaign is very nice. Victory is sure to Congress party in Raj Bhavan constituency. People are more supporting for Congress.
Experts feel that the Congress High Command is solely responsible for this drama and confusion. First, it asks its candidates to file the nomination from all 30 constituencies, and then, after a delayed alliance with the DMK, has now asked 6 of them to withdraw.
What started off as a friendly fight has now turned into a fight within. While Congress has asked 6 of its people to withdraw from the battlefield, but people like Kumaran continue to campaign, refusing to leave the battle halfway. With cameraman Sanjay Kumar Jaina in Puducherry, this is Vishal Baristu for DD India.
Well, that's all we have in this edition of DD India Live. Let's know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those of you on the go, get the latest news and updates from India and across the world on the DD India mobile app. It's available on both Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR code and download it. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. My name is Mark Lin. Thank you for watching DD India Live. Namaskar.